Hey folks, Randy Gold, Trout Magnum Man here with you tonight. We're going to do a rod review on a Major Craft Truzer 6'5" hard model Ajing rod. I've had this rod for several years now, and I've used it a lot. I've used it a whole lot. We'll start out with the specs on this rod. It's rated for 2 to 6 pound test line. The lure rating, of course, is in grams, but I'm going to give it to you in U.S. standards. It's going to be from approximately 1/32 to just a little over 3/8. Now, and of course, the line I think I said was 2 to 6. Now, I've never thrown a 3/8 for this. I've thrown 1/4 ounce. I'd be comfortable doing that with that. It works out very good. This rod weighs in at 3.5 ounces. Now, for a 6'5" rod, that you think that's heavy, and it is heavy. But this is a hard model. Now, exactly what the hard designation means, literally what they want it to mean, and for the Japanese, I have no clue. I've inquired about that. All they can tell me is the hard model. Well, what I'm assuming is it's a heavy-duty Ajing rod, because I have a Major Craft Cross Ride 7'5" Ajing rod it's pretty stiff, but it's not as robust as this rod. And they sell a 6'3" and a 6'8" Ajing rod that I've got to believe is not doesn't have a designator of the hard model. And also they sell the N1 model Ajing. They have a 6'6", I believe it is, hard model in it, and a 6'8" regular Ajing. So I'm just assuming that the hard designation means it's heavy duty. And this is a very robust rod. It has the Cross Force Plus wrapping all the way from the butt to the stripper guide, which is going to prevent twisting and torque when you're fighting a fish. It has the titanium Fuji frame guides with Torzite inserts, which cuts down on weight and adds up to sensitivity. The reel seat on this is, once again, it's a robust reel seat. It's brushed aluminum with the Truzer logo in there, a Major Craft Works series. This come out of their Works factory in Vietnam. Everything on this rod is Japanese components. The blank is made out of Toray carbon. It is a high graphite content rod. How high, I don't know, because Major Craft doesn't list their graphite content. They also don't list the weight of their rods. Why they don't, I don't know. But it is a premium rod. This can be bought today from Digitaka, delivered to your door for $295. And what's it good for? Well, I use it to fish for white bass, largemouth, smallmouth. I also use the drop shot for bluegill in the wintertime, and in the summertime too, when they've gone deep, but especially in the wintertime. Now, this is not a rod you'd want to buy. It is an ultralight rod. It's considered an ultralight rod, but up on the heavier side of ultralight. It's kind of hard to explain. It's an Ajing rod. All Ajing rods are pretty stiff, but this one is extra stiff. It's an extra fast rated rod by Major Craft. Here in the U.S., I guarantee you, anybody who rate this rod would rate it extra fast. I mean, it's just a fast tip, no doubt about it. That 7-8 inches of the rod is what this rod's all about right there. That's how come it's able to load up a 1/32 ounce weight and cast it a reasonable amount of distance. The tip on this rod, I mic'd out at less than 9/10 of a millimeter. And it's probably less than 9/10 of a millimeter, but I didn't want to get too carried away with my micrometer. I didn't want to damage this blank. The butt on this rod measured mic'd out at 9.11 millimeter. That's some serious butt. As I said, this is a robust rod. I think it's pretty thick-walled blank. I don't know that, but I'm suspecting it is because of the weight of the rod. Also, one thing that adds to the weight of the rod is this handle. The brushed aluminum and this carbon fiber locking nut in the rear, and the Fuji, part of the Fuji reel seat here is two, the front and the rear is carbon fiber nylon with a, what are we trying to say here? It's got a non-slip coating on these two parts right here. They do that for their Ajing rods, or at least the few Ajing rods I got from Major Craft. They do that. There's a non-slip coating on here, which is a good thing, I guess. I use this rod for white bass, smallmouth, largemouth. I fished with this past year from December on up through May, catching white bass, sometimes hundreds a day, down below the dam in Nickajack. It performs wonderfully in that role. It's light enough to give you fun, yet it's got the backbone to get heavier fish in and get them in reasonably quick. Say if you were fishing with, I have a Yamaha Blanks Ajing rod, Blue Current, which only weighs in just a little over 2 ounces, but it's not as a robust a rod as this. It's rated from 1 to 3 pound test line, and while I've caught white bass on it, I prefer not to use it for that. But this is right at home for that. I catch white bass in the junks in the summertime with this rod. There's I'll post a link to the video. If you look through my videos, I think the first video I did was catching white bass back in April or May maybe, below the dam at Nickajack with this rod. I mean, it performs great at that function. Not a whole lot else to say about this rod. It's just great build, work. Its fit and finish is good. There's no excess epoxy runs, lacquer, no excess lacquer runs on the guide feet. The blank, except for the Cross Force Plus part, which is from the butt up to the stripper guide, the rest of the blank is a matte finish. And I'm sure there's no lacquer on that blank to probably hold the weight down as much as possible. Like I said, very stiff, very robust. If you're looking for a rod, if you're a big white bass fisherman, you'd like to get them on ultralight tackle, you'd like to get smallmouth on ultralight tackle, largemouth on ultralight tackle, this is the rod to do it. And it serves a great purpose of drop shot. If you want to drop shot for bass, it's great for that. This thing has got sensitivity way off the charts. Most Ajing rods do, high-end Ajing rods. All Ajing rods are pretty sensitive, but the high-end ones are really over the top, as this one is. I tell everybody, you know, in my videos when I discuss this JDM tackle, it's not a road I recommend people go down. It's expensive. It can become addictive. I'm getting ready to order another rod right now, and I'll probably continue ordering JDM gear for many years to come. I think I've said before, I've turned into a collector of this equipment, but I use this equipment, except for one rod, and I'll talk about that later. You know, if you're looking for a rod that has got sensitivity off the charts, that can give you a lot of fun, then this is it. And I hope this information has helped you. If you've been looking at this rod, there's not a lot of info in English you can get on this rod. This rod is used a lot in Europe, used a lot in Russian. There's all kind of Russian videos of people using this rod. Of course, you can't understand a thing they're saying, so there's not really much info you can glean from it other than you can see the rod in action. As I said, it's a high-end rod. Major Craft gives you a lot of rod for the money. This is the case with this rod. I hope I don't ever break it because it'd be expensive to replace. And I guess that's about all the information I have to give on it. You can see from the bend here. I mean, it's just extra fast, and that's what gives it that sensitivity, is that rigidness, you know. But it's a great rod to fish with, and hope you enjoyed the video. I hope those of you who wanted to go fishing today got to go fishing. I hope you caught a lot of fish. Hope you caught a lot of big fish. Hope you had a lot of fun. So live them all, and as I always like to say, life is good.